Anyway.
Yes?
What would you use like fabric to fiberglass?
Are you saying before it's set or
No, like you were using a armor.
anything? Anything?
Hot glue?
Hot glue.
So it doesn't have
Fabric
to be
glue?
affected.
No. Once fiberglass is cured, I do not know what happens when it's not cured because it's still reacting and it might explode. I've had
Yeah, we don't know. It might give
Drain
toxic
cleaner.
fumes if you're using polyester.
Yeah, but wait until it's cured. Once it's cured, it nothing.
So it wouldn't have any effect on certain things.
Not that I found. Not that I found. If you're worried about it, you are concerned, try to you can put something between it, but I don't think there's any.
The only thing I can see maybe happening is if you put it under extreme heat, which if you leave your props or your costumes in your car, you're already asking for trouble.
Yeah, don't do that.
I will add to that. I stored this in the garage over the summer because I didn't want to bring it inside because I have cats and they would knock it over. So I left it in my garage and I came out one day and it was bent. And I was like, what in the world? The heat will soften it. Yeah. It hardened back up. I just flipped it over, left it out there, straightened out, and I brought it back inside.
So that was pink.
This is pink foam. Yes.
So it's definitely not indestructible. Did you go over?
Yes.
What happened?
While you were in there.
We've got 15 minutes.
Right.
Where's a good place to get the rope supplies?
Home Depot.
Home Depot.
Just where I'm gonna do?
I haven't really priced around, but I know that Home Depot is a really available source. Walmart has it. Paint.
Paint department.
Paint by the Mondo. It'll be by the
Yeah.
Mondo.
More than likely, the associates will know where it's at. And
Yeah.
you can find it.
Walmart has it sometimes too.
Yeah.
It'll be on the automotive stuff. So.
Yeah, and you know, we didn't have it on the list of things that you need, but if you don't have the money to invest in 100% acetone, at least get nail polish remover just in case.
Because if you do end up using brushes or you need to get it off of something, acetone. Just acetone will be in the same department.
When this was originally being worked on, I was trying to help my friend out by flipping it over and putting on another coat. Only I was dumb and forgot that I wasn't wearing gloves. So I ended up with fiberglass all over my palms. I spent, what, 3 hours with my hands pretty much in acetone just trying to rub it off. And then I was dumb and acted like I was washing my hands and just got it even worse. So acetone will pretty much save I'm alive. So acetone's very good.
Acetone, if you do decide to use real brushes, if you happen to have some brushes at the house,
That's the question.
acetone will dissolve it. Just be sure that you wash it, like rinse all of the fiberglass off thoroughly in the acetone. If there's anything left, it will stick and it will block and it will nastiness. But you can use the brushes.
One little thing, you mentioned using hot glue for something, but I just wanted to let you know that if hot glue gets cold, in like freezing temperatures, it will pop and go loose.
Yeah. Right.
That's another extreme test situation. You don't want to put these things in places you won't be.
Yeah.
If you were, would you imagine you would like sitting in a hot car for hours? Well, then don't put your very fragile thing you worked on for months and months and months left in your car. Or if it was freezing over, leave it outside or something like that.
Don't put your gun in the freezer.
The best thing really, with something like this, because it is so light, we haven't actually tested this out to the fullest, but get a few nails, make sure you put...
Because it is pretty, you
Yeah.
spend a lot of time and you want to display it.
On this, I would put in a few just places here, 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 and here. And that would, even out all the weight, and so it's not going to droop in any kind of conditions. That way it's not, you don't want it on your floor, because like if you got cats or something, they're going to knock it over. You want to keep it in a higher area, away from people too, and definitely no extreme temperature.
Yes.
Seeing I'm on like the way front row, there's also the pieces laying in the car.
This is what's left.
That's what's left
Yeah.
of Oblivion.
Yeah, that's the part of the side that broke off. They kind of went,
It was a problem of weight.
So like the resin doesn't really keep things from bent.
It reinforces it.
yeah,
like
it
this,
reinforces it. It does not make it godly.
yeah, it's much sturdier. Like pink foam, you can cut it with your fingernail. and I can't do that.
I know.
But
I know when
would pick
I
something
know when I
different.
made Action Shock, like the spike can still, like every once in a while, I bump it against the wall and it's dead.
Yeah.
The best thing to do probably, something that we did with her Harkonnen, which didn't have any kind of resin, but run a small rod through, any kind of very small metal. I would have run it through this part of the weapon. That way, when you do any kind of swinging.
There's many things that I would have done differently.
Yeah. That's an easy, quick solution to something to keep this from happening.
Yeah. It's just
because so much weight is here.
You have to think about construction even if you are using fiberglass, because as we've said many times, the resin itself only reinforces, it doesn't make things godly. It's really the cloth that turns into glass and goes, "Wah!" It won't ever break it.
Your armor, I would say, if it's got a lot of details like these, just the resin. If it's a whole bunch of flat planes, like just the chest piece and it's got like the center ridge, go with the cloth. That will also make it so that you could take a hit and add a little bit of realism.
Yeah.
I like realism.
I know earlier we mentioned almost pureeing the paper mache. If you're going to do that, and if you're using that to build it up and make a shape, you'll want to wait for that to completely dry. It might take a few days, and then lay it in layers. A few weeks. It might take a while, and then after that you'll want to continue with the regular paper mache just so that you'll have a nice flat surface.
Also, with little paper mache, whenever cut it, always tear it.
Yes. Why is that?
Because the fibers, if you cut it, you're cutting off the fibers. If you tear it, the fibers are loose and they'll stick to each other.
Fair enough.
Can you speed up like paper mache like drying?
Yes, with a blow dryer. It's just drying the water out of the glue.
Yep.
But if you do that,
like
when you do that, you're drying the surface and not like, especially with the pulp, you're not getting what's down inside.
Yeah.
So it's better to just let it dry.
Yeah, if you do it that way with the pulp, then the inside's going to be soft when you think the rest of it's dry, and it'll take a lot longer, which we found out the hard way.
If you blow dry it though, don't point it very close because you don't want to get like any kind of drip to avoid dripping. You don't want to put a huge blast of air on it.
You want to do everything Yes.
Dirty if it's been hot and
Salt?
Yes.
We've never experimented with that, but I don't think it would work too well.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, I've never heard anything about that, so if you want to do research about that, I don't know how it would work.
Baking soda reinforces the super.
Oh really? I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah, because it's one of the things you learn when you become a person that solders stuff is if you're putting two plastic pieces together and you use super glue, if you put a little bit of baking soda in super glue, it acts as like pretty much like cloth fiberglass, and it just reinforces super glue and it's less likely to drip.
Huh. Well, learn something. Yeah, more than welcome to try it. I mean,
Did you guys hear that in the back?
adding salt? No.
Baking soda
to super glue.
Makes it stronger.
Yeah, acts like the cloth with the fiberglass. Keeps it from breaking. Did not know that. How many more minutes do we have? How's it going? 15? No, we got the 15-minute flag a while ago. How are we doing?
No, it's just after.
Okay, we've got about 5 minutes left. Because we've got to leave and got to clean up for the next panel. So, are there any final questions before we close?